What's going on, y'all? Yeah, this is Zodiac series. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna get into the water signs and I'm gonna break this stuff down. This may not be an open panel, just open the stream, but I'm just gonna put it out here. Okay. Let me get this out of the way. Educational. Yeah. And just get into the characteristics. Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sounding good, right? Yeah. Yeah. Got this some background noise, but I had to tune it out. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna read this. Like I said before, and I said it again. We're gonna get into the water signs. So what we're gonna do is gonna read Cancer. So like we see on the screen, Cancer. I mean, they got people exposing themselves on these signs, but just give me a second. But we're going to cover Cancer. Okay, Cancer, the trace and overview. This is Cancer season, by the way. 4th of July is tomorrow. Okay, so the Cancer dates, we got July 22nd, June 21st. That's the season. It already started. The symbol is the crab. Mode element is cardinal water. Ruling planet is moon. And the house is 4th. But I feel, hold on. Let me change something real quick. I know y'all don't. Let me change something real quick. All right. I'm back into it. So let's see what we get. We're going to touch on it. Yeah. So I said the moon, house is number 4. The mantra, I feel. Here's the body parts: stomach, brain, and breast. The colors is silver and white. The tarot card is the Chariot. As you see, the symbolism they just trying to show you, but I'm not going to get in depth into it. Okay. Let's read this. Cancer, the 4th sign of the Zodiac. It's all about home. Those born under this horoscope sign are roots kinds of people and take great pleasure in the comforts of home and family. Cancers are maternal, domestic, love to nurture others. More than likely their family will be large, but to the more, the merrier. To the more, the merrier. The Cancers will certainly be merry if their home life is serene and harmonious. Okay, serene and harmonious. Okay, traditions are upheld with great zest in a Cancer's household, since as the rulers of the 4th house of the home and memory, the zodiac sign prizes family history, loves communal activities. They also tend to be patriotic, waving the flag whenever possible. Cancer's good memory is the basis for the stories told around the dinner table. And don't be surprised if the folks get emotional about things. Those born under this sign wear their heart on their sleeves, which is just fine by them. They wear their emotions on their sleeves. That's a Cancer for you. It's Cancer symbolism plus myth. The constellation known as the Cancer has its roots in the many ancient civilizations where it has been identified as various hard-shelled mythological creatures. In the Egyptian belief, it was associated with the scarab, the symbol of immortality, the scarab. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Crab That's what they call it in their mythology in Egypt. The connections with the afterlife continues into the Babylonian culture, where cancers were thought to be the god that was guided to the passage through the underworld and death. The crab makes an appearance in the Greek legend with its notable part in the tale of Hercules battling the Hydra. The Karkakinos, the crab, was sent by the goddess of Hera, who was not a fan of Hercules, to distance him and give the Hydra an advantage. When Karkinos bites Hercules on the foot, he kills him by cracking his shell. As a reward for risking his life to Hera's bidding, Karkinos is placed into the heavens to shine for eternity. Cancer element, mode, and season. Okay, summer solstice. In the Western tropical zodiac, the Cancer season begins on June 21st, commencing the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. But this is the time of the year when the sun, heat, and light are at its peak, with the daylight outweighing the night hours. From this point, the days slowly begin to decrease towards the autumn equinox, representing the second seasonal pivotal of the year. Cancer's connection with the nurturance and substance and rejuvenation is mirrored into the bounty of energy and resources in the summer months. And this is the cardinal symbol as well. It means high quality. I'll get into those. I would say July 6th. That'll be the final parts of the Zodiac. I'm gonna get on July 6th. I'll have another link for that. Check out for that stream if y'all can. That's an upcoming stream. This coming up next week. Okay, cardinal mode. Cancer is the second of the fourth cardinal signs of the Zodiac, who of all element energy, initiation and leadership at the beginning of the four seasons. Cancer season is the beginning of the summer, where the light and energy are in abundance. This definitive, nourishing, seasonal quality is the root of Cancer's strong cardinal authority, natural as an archetype. Water element. It's a water sign as well. They call it the water element. Ruled by the moon, Cancer's elements is water, the second heaviest element, though by an ancient astrologers to be the fluid, adaptive, yet a tangible form of matter. Water represents the moistening and cohering principles that binds and connects all forms of nature. Without it, nothing that takes the material form could stick together. Water fertilizes earth so that nature and creativity can incubate and bloom. Cancer's affinity for nutrients, protection, and leadership in melding in people into the family units are all akin to the consolidating connectivity of the water element. So it's part of that. You see the symbol right here. Cancer's planetary rulership. We get into that. The domicile of the moon in the classical astrology, the moon was assigned the rulership of Cancer exclusively. The moon is the luminary of the night, receptacle and reflector of the sun's vital rays, guiding us into the darkness. Classically, the moon was thought to be the protector of the earth, interceding between us and the bold, active, and divine rays of the other powerful planets. Like Mother Bird breaking down food into a more palatable form, but the moon filters this intensive cosmic rays for all life in her subluminary realm so that we are not overwhelmed or destroyed by their powers. One wonders if the ancients saw the moon's craters as evidence and that she will shield us from potential cosmic hits. These are where something of the maternal qualities of the moon were observed to be at work, giving the moon in Cancer a special potency and divinity while at home in the crab sign. In the watery and protective sign of Cancer, the moon can be a nurturing, emotive, as an intuitive of a force on the psyche and in the cosmos, as she likes to be. But regardless of the gender, They identify with those with the moon in Cancer will have a strong maternal, protective, emotive, and psychic energy in their core nature. Here's the detriment: Saturn, ruled by the moon, right? Cancer is a planetary with the cardinal Earth sign in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. Capricorn is cool, reserved, strongly pragmatic, being innately practical at times and stern and mistrustful of vulnerability. Saturn ruled Capricorn is a contrast to the moon, ruled Cancer, whose insular insular and emotive instincts wired this archetype to be innately maternal and intuitive. Imagine a stern, unyielding Saturn in Cancer, soft, sentimental, somewhat dreamy world. Saturn in the moon sign would be the somewhat of compensate for this detriment, being somewhat of out of their element in the fluid of environment. This may simply mean that the natives are born with this placement may either tend to have protective barriers around their emotions, or they may blend Saturn's judgment with Cancer's emotiveness to be inordinary, defensive, and self-protective. It can have a Saturn effect on the moods of these natives, making them prone to bouts of sadness and depression. This placement could also cause the native to place many rules and restrictions around themselves. When it comes to their emotional engagements with others, they may be prone to holding long grudges. If they are hurt or crossed, Saturn compensates, and Cancers may also represent a strong instinct to protect others who are vulnerable in their communities or their societies at large. That's Cancer for their little sign. And here's the exhaustions of Jupiter. Jupiter, the planet of belief, benevolence, opportunity, has especially exalt the place in Cancer. Here, the Jupiterian powers of mentorship, affirmation blend uniquely well with Cancer's nurturing and protective qualities. This placement can combine to produce great teachers, parents, and spiritual guides, and may amplify the Cancerian psychic abilities depending on how or where Jupiter in the moon sign is placed in a person's birth chart. It can be very placement that offers prosperity and privileges to the native that their generosity they will no doubt share with others. Fall of Mars. Mars was said to be exalted in Capricorn by classical astrologers, where it can be uniquely and constructively express his his tenacious martial powers. When the opposite sign of Cancer, Mars was said to be in his fall, which may not pose as a strong and an adaptive challenge as a detriment might, yet still puts the planetary force somewhat out of its comfort zone. It points the ways that Mars, typically aggressive, divisive energies, presented as somewhat volatile, and that they're often facilitate between being over or underutilized in the life of a native. As a sign, Cancer promotes soothing, nurturing, and healing, where Mars promotes inflaming, comforting, and competing. So the watery influence of Cancer may squelch the abilities to be assertive and take initiative. In the interest of not hurting others, Mars and Cancer natives may suppress or deny their anger, causing it to fester and come out in untimely ways. But the insight that the natives with displacement gain in melding these very different energies are found in how they create balance, set appropriate boundaries when dealing with anger. They may have to find activities to vent their frustrations so that they do not become inordinary defense or overly protective of those that they love. This placement can also be as the use of a martial talents in the Cancerian ways. For example, Mars' affinity with fire and sharp knives blend with Cancer's love, nurturing, and could produce passionate cooks and chefs. That's the fall of Mars on that one. Cancer's house rulership. Okay, the fourth house in modern astrology system of the 12th letter of the alphabet. Each zodiac sign rules one of the 12 houses in the birth chart. This innovation was created by psychological astrologers to match the signs' affinities to relate house topics. Cancer was assigned the fourth house of ancestry roots and home. Since Cancer's watery, emotive, and protective expressions are aligned with the concern of this house, since Cancer is ruled by a receptive and reflective moon, and it invites a nurturing signature to the fourth house. The third house, in the classical astrology, Cancer's planetary rule of the moon was to find her joy in the third house of siblings and neighbors and short-term travel in the birth chart. But the third house was also called the house of goddess by the classical astrologers, meaning it was connected to nocturnal passage into the mysteries of sleep, dreaming, and regeneration that moon ruled over. But the third house is polarity with the ninth, where the sun was said to find its joy, but being connected to a longer yearly solar preemulations and travels. By contrast, the moon with the swift movement around the zodiac every month was associated with shorter or more local travel around one village or neighborhood, but the moon, as a result, has some special potency or dignity in the third house of the birth chart. Yep, third house. So Cancer characteristics, we're going to get to that. This is a Cancer sign, y'all. So I'm going to see what's going on. And what's going on, Sir Anthony? Salute. Salute, 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 salute. And yeah, we're in the Cancer mode. Let's get into the personalities. Ruled by the moon, Cancer's archetypal traits derive from its receptive feminine or yin qualities, making this sign oriented towards the compilation and engagement with the inner awareness. Alive in both a Cancer's woman or a Cancer man, those born with the crab as their rising or sun or moon sign have a sensitive, intuitive, and protective awareness in the core of their personality. An echo of the life supporting, sustaining energies of the summer season. As a cardinal sign, Cancer takes leadership in the roles of being a nurturer, host, protector, and caretaker. Those born with the sign of the crab, prominent in their charts, focus on forming and maintaining family ties. They are naturally empathetic, sentimental, and home, loved by nature. That's a Cancer sign. That's their traits. Here's their strengths. Primary, the Cancer strengths can be found in their kind, giving, and sympathetic natures, always ready to host and set a table. They can be counted on to feed and care for friends, family, and any weary traveler that stays in their home. With the strong empathetic powers and talents for healing, Cancer's natives can sense what others need, often long before they have and articulated themselves. But the famous sideways walk of the crab can be observed in a cautious way. Cancer's native enters a space or social gathering, but they tend to come in quietly, carefully surveying their surroundings before they open and reveal their whole shelves. This protective instinct makes the Cancerians good at reading the emotion tone in a room, helping them anticipate danger or crisis early. There's always something familiar about those born under the sign of the crab. Those with this sign rising, especially give people the uncanny feeling that they have met them before. But this quality has roots in its archetype and connections to nurturing and building a home, often making people instantly feel at home with them. But to ease familiarity and trust, they inspire, allow those who met them to be open quickly and saying. But the Cancerian, I feel like life could tell anything, or it felt like it's known you made your whole life. But this uncanny quality serves the crab natives and well in their roles and professions, which usually has some healing or nurturing aspects to them. Cancer natives are usually steadfast and loyal. Once you have being accepted into their hearts and inner circle, they'll be your friend for life. No matter what gender Cancerians identify with, they often have a strong matriarchal presence in their homes, communities, and workplaces. Cancer natives have a great sympathy for the underdog and the downtrodden. And though usually quiet and peaceable, their claws come out when protecting the vulnerable. They also they're also they are also vigilant about protecting themselves, learning to the importance of strong emotional and energetic boundaries from a young age. That's their traits of strengths, and here's their weakness. Some potential weakness in the Cancer archetype is rooted in their great strengths, though they love creating a comfortable home. They can become so emotionally sentimental, connected to their space, but their belongings. That's similar to a Taurus. I'll get that down at night. See how long when this one goes. I decide to move up the time. Yeah, because nobody's really streaming. Okay, where did I left off? Hold on. I left off. Mostly sentimental ties, belongings. Okay, that is hard to let go and make changes when needed. Their natural giving tendencies, if unbalanced, can cause natives from this sign to over-identify with its being needed, but they can be vulnerable to projecting their neediness and onto others by enabling codependent relationships. Cancer emotional instincts can be productive and helpful, but it can also become overreactive if they are not feeling healthy and grounded. This could lead them to become fearful and reclusive and hypervigilant when exploring the outer world. But the gentle Cancer naturally inspires trust in others. And however, this can be taken advantage of. It, of course, those born under the sign of the crab to get caught doing too much emotional labor, stuck holding others' emotional baggage. Like all water signs, Cancer is vulnerable to absorb toxic energies. So if they are in a healing or counseling work of some kind, they need to have a cleansing practice, breathing exercises, saunas, smudging, protective aura visualizations are all the ways a Cancer native can maintain a psychic shell to keep their energy clear. That's help their weakness. Family, the family be that okay. The family that be that chosen or biological are important to the Cancer. Yet these natives need to be aware of tendencies to be clannish, exclusive, and slow to trust outsiders. There may be good reason for this caution, but it's still important for Cancer natives to keep this reflex in check so that they don't hurt and reject or alienate anyone who's feeling vulnerable. Excuse me for that. The strong matriarchal tendencies of this archetype are powerful and an asset, but it can be overdone, showing up in bossy, smothering, and even manipulating tendencies if the Cancer's natives is trying too hard to control their environment. With the moon's connection to the brain, Cancerians are famous for their long memories, making them prone to holding grudges. Others will feel the pinch of reactive and sometimes hurtful words if they cross the crab. Shy and sensitive Cancer children will be well nurtured if they are allowed to come out if their shells on their own time. Well, Cancer is similar to a Taurus, and they hold a little grudges too. I didn't know that by the moon. Okay, you see that right there, that little symbolism. Yeah, man. So we see. Oh, salute, man. We're gonna talk about this. This may be a short little stream pickup, but I'll talk about the others in a minute. I'll run things down. Okay. Cancer life purpose and career. Mantra purpose. The voice of the empathy, intuition, sensitivity and comes forward in the Cancer's mantra, I feel. The crab's sense of purpose is all about facilitating, nurturing emotional understanding, expression, and awareness. With the strong cardinal leadership skills, these natives will be fulfilled by taking prominent roles as heads of families, households, communities, and are often involved in supporting the emotional well being of those in their workplaces. We all have a Cancer somewhere in our birth chart, so we can look to the house that the crab rules to find a specific area of our life we approach in a nurturing, intuitive way, or where we need to call an empathetic Cancer and sensibility for material mastery. Cancers at work. Cancer's caring, comforting nature makes them uniquely suited for professions where they are needed to use their protective and healing instincts. This could take form of many professions and roles, but will likely not to be found in jobs that are high risk, stressful, or move to accelerated pace. Okay, let's look at that for a minute. Some exceptions could be found in the healthcare, where their attentiveness and vigilance in a crisis may be an asset, or when cooking in high energy kitchens. Otherwise, cancers will enjoy peace, solitude, intimidate environments in which to do their work. They love belong to a group, but may prefer to one dynamic where they can create a protected container and apply their undivided attention. It is very likely that they be using their nesting instincts. These natives will find a way to work from the home, or will have work that is connected to the home visits. Should they work in an office or modern building, they'll be adding cozy elements to their workspace to make it feel homier. Their sections of their stuff room or office refrigerator will be brimming with snack teas and their favorite flatwares, so that they feel nourished and prepare for their days. So Cancer connections to the home has them overseeing many styles of accommodations of Adobe's their professions. You may find them managing hotels, bed, breakfast, or working as landlords, property managers, home inspectors, or realtors. But the Cancer and material instinct also makes these natives suited to all kinds of caretaker and childcare roles. They may work in nursing homes, daycare, and nannies, and will likely find satisfaction in housekeeping and homemaking. But the crab's strong healing and caring tendencies make them suited for them to factors of our health care system. We could easily see them working as family doctors, pediatricians, and nurses. Cancer's connection with nurturing and protecting the young will likely lead many of these natives to teach children, but they may do this through art and the musical preschools and elementary schools, but they may also use their creativity, storytelling powers as children authors and illustrators. Social welfare, mental health are likely to be the interests of a Cancer natives. Also, they can also suit the work to support emotional well-being. We can see this expression that form in the social work and also in roles of therapists and counselors. The crab's mystic sides can emerge in a role of the local psychic or medium as they offer insight and comfort to spiritual seekers. Those born under the sign of the crab delighted in setting in table, creating a comfortable dining atmosphere, food, or everything to do with its natural vocation path for the Cancer native. They also may enjoy keeping this passion, also intimidate home base level, or it can be taken from the roles as the food merchants, restaurants and chefs and caterers and breakers and or even as serves or hosts. All signs have their creative side. This can be this can take many forms of the Cancer, and we may find alive in the talents of interior design as well as home decorating. These natives may also be drawn to water sports like swimming and surfing, and they also would like dependable protective lifeguards. Okay, Cancer's compatibility. When exploring overall compatibility, it's important to consider more than the sun sign, as the rising sign and the moon sign and other planetary connections will tell the whole story. We will tell the whole story. That being said, the Cancer natives will tend to blend the best with water signs, and earth signs, and may need to work harder on relationships with fire and air signs. Okay, here's the fire signs. We're going to deal with fire and air signs on tomorrow, both of them. That's going to be a long stream. That is going to be a super long stream. I'm going to break it all down to y'all and may open up the panel or something like that. But that's going to be a long stream because everybody's on the floor. Of all zodiacs, sensitive Cancers may find the volatile, impulsive fire signs the trickiest to relate. Although the Cancers shy and cautious in nature may benefit from collaborating with fiery warmth and enthusiasm, Mars ruled Aries, and especially made to be brash and headstrong to relax, settle down with Cancers. Both are cardinal signs, so they may wrestle for leadership, control of their shared environment. Aries may have impatient, harsh words at the moment, but a Cancer will never forget the burn. Yep, because they hold grudges. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. And let me see. Sagittarius and a Cancer shares nothing modally or elementally in common. This pairing is unusual and may have many challenges set against its truly work. Cancer's is sentimental and home based, where Sagittarius is restless and rovering. So they may disagree on how to spend their time together. Sincere and sensitive Cancers will not care for Sagittarius' brand of brutal honesty, and many misunderstandings with ensue. Here's Leo. Leo and Cancer also have nothing elementally or modally in common, being an adjacent sign of the zodiac. So they may have a hard time relating and connecting romantically long term. Leo is ruled by the outgoing sun. Cancer is ruled by the insular moon, possibly creating opposites that attract connection. This polarity is more likely to keep them forever as divided as the day is from the night. That's the fire signs we talked about. So the Aries, we just talked about the Aries. Yeah. Okay. Now here's the air signs. Air signs are speedy, swift, social, which could be a breath of fresh air. Cancer's reflection in somewhat moody world, but intimately, Cancers may find their air signs a bit too breezy and changeable to truly depend on. And that's a water sign for you. Okay. Gemini and Cancer do not share much in common, with the twins being intensely social, Cancer being intensely private, but the crab may often find their are soothing. Gemini is afraid nerves and maybe have the hard time keeping up with their mental chatter. But the two may tire of this dynamic after a while. Will need to respect each other's different rhymes and long-lasting term. Okay. Libra. Cancers can work well together and with a visioning. Yeah, Libra and Cancer can work well with a Venus or something like that. A Venus person, yeah. I'll say Venus or lunar natures, blending more easily than with other air signs. Libra's social, artistic world doesn't seem to overlap much with the Cancer's private life, but they could come together as co-hosts of beautiful, intimate dinners and parties. Eventually, Cancer will need to withdraw and will seem moodier than a upbeat Libra. they would need to learn how to navigate these emotional differences. Yeah, that's a decent sign. We work with a Cancer. It's just like the Taurus almost. They're similar to the Taurus. An Aquarius and a Cancer. They're both, that's a fixed sign, that's a cardinal sign. Now Libra and a Cancer is cardinal signs. That's why. And Aries, why? Because they deal with business and they deal with high quality. And yes, Cancer is similar to the Taurus. That's a great compatibility. That's our greatest compatibility. I'll get into that later in a later stream. That's part 2 of this. Part 1 is going to be a little short, so I'm not going to stay on this much longer. So, yeah, Platinum's got a messy panel already. So Aquarius, a potentially challenging match. Cancer is ruled by nurturing moon, and Aquarius is ruled by the stern, remote Saturn. Though Aquarius may benefit from Cancer's attention and care, it may not be natural for them to reciprocate what a Cancer truly needs to feel secure. They are perhaps too different on an emotional level to achieve lasting intimacy without conscious, intentional work. And that's it. And here's the water signs. This is going to be interesting. Water signs match Cancer's vulnerability, emotional intelligence, the greatest affinity. There seems to be a psychic intuitive current running down between them that transcends words. Cancer with Cancer is natural, peas in a pod of a fit, where they share many similar values and needs. They easily make a home together, agree on the feeling out the major life decisions. A potential pitfall presents if they are too much alike, struggle for control, or if they are having an intense mood at the same time. They will likely have enough caring and empathy between them to work it out. Yeah, that's what it is. It usually don't work. The Taurus thing can work. One has to bow out, and the other one has to be the lead. That's usually where it is. That's usually where it is. I mean, marriage wise, no. You want to deal with your opposites. Sometimes people do deal with their own sign, but but they find the ways to make work. Depends on your family's zodiac sign. That's what household you creating. Because I grew up I have a cardinal father, and I have a fixed mother. She's a Leo, and the other one was an Aries. See, they married based off proximity and I would say compatibility. That was based off proximity because the fathers knew each other. You know how that goes. But enough of that. Pisces broadens Cancer's receptive capacities by bringing spiritual and philosophical ideas to the relationship. This is a complementary pairing that is innately intuitive, mystical, and otherworldly. They will enjoy their privacy, solitude together, and may collaborate easily on creative projects. Mars ruled Scorpio can be sexual magnetism to a relationship with Cancer, helping them open up to the sensuality and exploration. This is a magnetic match with both signs, able to explore potent themes of power, mystery together. Cancer being a quite intense sign, it is not intimidated by Scorpio's deep and moody nature. The Scorpion may be at times a little too taboo for shy Cancer, but this may be what they are attracted to help broaden their horizons. Well, see, a Cancer and Scorpio, even the reason that's a good match is similar to the Taurus. The Taurus and the Scorpio are a great match because they're both stubborn. Now, when they say the sexual part, or should I say the magnetism of them, he said it's a magnetic match, but both signs explore. Yeah, it's similar to that. And that's a good fit for that too. But the best fit, I would say, would be the Pisces if you want to go with the water sign. Even though they're kind of like rivals or whatever, but some people go with those signs. But it's interesting. Yeah, enough of the Scorpio. Let's go with the earth signs. Okay. Bringing complementary elemental affinity to a relationship with Cancer, since practical earth and emotive water blend well. See, It's best bet to me. My best advice: if you're a Cancer, you deal with earth signs. That's your best bet. The water sign, your best fit, I would say it could be a Scorpio or a Pisces, but with your own sign, it's it's similar to the Taurus. I mean, they got little options themselves. Earth signs being complementary elemental affinity to a relationship with Cancers, since practical earth and emotive water blend well. I just read that again. Okay. Cancer is Capricorn's polar opposite, bringing care, nurturing to a Capricorn that they will sorely need it. But the two have an opposite attract connection. They may either complete the whole picture or be too polarizing. Cancer enjoys creating a warm home, where Capricorn is often married to their work. So if they can blend each other's strengths, they can help balance each other out. Yeah, that can work. That's like the second best to the Taurus. I read that somewhere in the Zodiac. Yeah, that can work. If they compromise, one of them has to compromise something. Okay, Cancer and Virgo, interesting blend. Together, potentially strong match. Yeah, see, it's just like the Taurus. Cancer is similar to the Taurus in the water signs. I hate to say that. That's the best water sign, period. It's got everything it needs. And this the greatest of compatibility. We're going to get that in a minute. Let's talk about Virgo. Together, potentially strong match. They will appreciate each other's uh, contentious, sensitive, thoughtful nature, may collaborate well on the shared business in health or nutrition. Virgo adds detail and structure to Cancer's nurturing and generous life. Their lives approach mesh well, and they make natural companions, which they are. That's like the third best. The second best is the Capricorn. Well, actually, take it back. Capricorn's third best, Virgo's second best, and the all-time best is the Taurus. Why? Because they both got something to complete each other. They both represent Venus, that planet. That's that planetary coming out. Okay. Cancer and Taurus share many affinities, may especially connect over their enjoyment of fine food, wine, and sensual pleasures. Venus ruled Taurus draws the romantic lover out of the moon ruled homebody Cancer. And the crab appreciates the Taurus' supportive, dependable nature. They are sure to have a lot of fun together and will enjoy decorating their home to create a nurturing ambience. That's why it's the greatest compatibility. Why? Because Cancer represents the light side of Venus, even though Taurus deals with the moon. And, we deal with the nocturnal side of the moon as well. So that's because it's the planet connection right there. That's why it's great compatibility, because one, we share that. And then another great compatibility for Taurus is Scorpios. That's it. But Cancer deals with the planet with the Taurus because it's like I just read. It's similar to the Taurus. Okay. Cancer's health, classical astrology, the moves. I ain't gonna get in that long read. Let's look at the body parts. Classical astrological medicine, the entire zodiac was mapped out on the human body with the Cancer, ruling over the stomach. Brain tissue, breasts being a phlegmatic under the moon's rule. All moist and fatty tissue are connected to the Cancer, as are organs that provide or absorb nourishment. This is why the stomach in the mammary tissue is connected to this material nurturing sign. In medical astrology, both Mercury and the moon rule over the brain, where the Mercury is connected to the intellect and nervous system and response of the brain. But the moon is connected to what is called the bulk of the brain, the soft fatty tissue that forms the brain's brain mass, my fault, brain mass. This is where Cancer's retentive powers and long memory were absorbed and understood according to this classical system. As a result, Cancer should focus on eating whole and unprocessed foods, keeping their bodies and lymphatic systems circulating toxins out of their fats and glands. And here's herbal allies. Marshmallow root is truly lunar planet. It has somewhat sweet, nourishing flavor and has a lubricating, repairing, and protective effect on the body and tissues. It grows in what would be considered a lunar conditions. In damp, cool mashes where there is abundant moisture, if one were to be suffering from inflammation, irritation, or dehydration, this lunar plant contains moisturizing mucilage and gel that cools and lubricates the respiratory and digestive tract. White willow bark has been regarded in the lunar plant since ancient times. Its dry, astringent qualities are constrictive, reducing swelling and excessive moisture. This is an important antidote to the lunar dampness, bogginess, and fluid buildup. White willow bark can be chewed to relieve the toothache and general pain, and is known to contain uh, salicin, and an ingredient in aspirin. And willow bark also contains flavonoids that helps with the reduction of a fever and inflammation. It is also known as cramp and pain reliever for a moon cycle, which can be potent for the moon. Ruled in Cancerian and Muletin is traditionally Sagittarian plant that offers the medicine of empathy to the damp of congested conditions that cancer can suffer from its dry, hairy leaves. It is hint to affinity for the cilia of respiratory tract that can become clogged and much mucus and the phlegmatic and constriction and illness, and that is productive exchange of filament in the MT area. So hold on for a minute. All right. Sorry about that. God damn. Leg is about to jam up on me. Fuck. Okay. Cancers from and can suffer from. Its dry, hairy leaves hint at its affinity for the cilia of respiratory tract that can become clogged with mucus and the filament. Yeah, okay, I read that. Okay, that process of has to film. Okay, million T. Is it tinctures? Yeah, tinctures have been used to treat all manner of respiratory infections, including tuberculosis, asthma, dry chronic coughs. It can also contain soothing and mucilage ingredients that may help make coughs more productive. Okay, this is what we got. Okay, let's deal with the esoteric. See, that's the herbal allies. Let's deal with the esoteric Cancer. 3 deacons of Cancer. Each zodiac 12 signs of represents a 30 degree slice of 360 band of constellations circling the earth. The 30 degrees of each sign can be further subdivided into 3 to 10 degree deacons or faces, each with this planetary sub ruler placed around the zodiac in the Chaldean order. These faces can be used from time in magical rituals when seeking to evolve and harness in the moon's planetary power. In studying the Cancer personality, we can use these faces of a crab to find the tune and the flavor of nuance of planets or points placed with these decanic degrees. The first decan of Cancer is Venus, right? Degrees 0 through 9 of a Cancer are ruled by Venus, amplifying the romantic and creative potential. The Cancer archetype for those with planets in this first decan, there may be tendencies to seek comfort and security in romantic relationships with love and attraction, taking on a soulful, healing, spiritual importance to those with planets or points in this decan. Second decan of Cancer, Mercury. Degrees of 10 through 19 of Cancer are ruled by Mercury. This may be heightened, intensified the mental and intellectual activity of those born with planets or placements in this decan. In the degrees, we may see some of the more literacy Cancers emerge. Their communication style may be soothing and comforting, which makes them inclined toward counseling or therapist work. Third decan of the Cancer, the Moon. Degrees 20 through 29. Cancers are ruled by the cool or receptive moon. This is the lunar domicile, enlightening the psychic and intuitive abilities of those born with planets or placements in this decan. We may see spiritual advisors, clairvoyants, but also great nurturers and matriarch emerges from this potential phase of cancers, which is Aspia's placement for lunar magic rituals. Yep. And here's the Torah cards. Major Arcana, the Chariot. The Chariot card correlates to Cancers is number 7. The Chariot, this card depicts of a balanced and benevolent warrior riding off on the journey battle with the poise and calm. This is the card of the peaceful warrior who is emotive, intuitive, but also powerful protector and defender of the weak and the vulnerable. This card appears when this archetype made to be the cultivated within us, or when we are about to embark on a new trip or project. But the driver is depicted as a harnessing and steering the horses of innovative, and receptivity or upright. It is an encouraging card that bodies well is for acts of determination, courage, and emotional strength. But the Chariot has echoes of the others 4 cardinal cards in the major arcana, and mirrors the love and emotional balance of the Lover's card. The clear judgment of the Justice card also hints at all of these qualities combined in the Chariot, helping us triumphantly over material vices or the polar opposite, the Devil card. Mm-hmm. Minor Arcana, 2 to 3, 4 of Cups. Minor Arcana Torah card suits of cups associated with this element of water. Here we see in the 3 deacons assigned to 2 to 3 and 4 cups. Crabs associated with the beginning of intuitive and relational cycle. But these cups cards help us focus on developing our receptive and reflective capacities. So they may feel our way towards better understanding the emotional mastery. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Okay. What's going on? Yeah. What's going on, man? Yeah. All right. Appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see what's going on in the stream. Ooh, appreciate it. Yeah, let me get back. Let me get back to it. Okay. 2 of the Cups, Venus Cancer. 2 of the Cups corresponds to the first decan or the face Cancer, and it carries the affectionate, benevolent signature of Venus, was referring to the book of Thoth as the card of love, depicting 2 parents raising their cups in love and celebration. But this card often appears to herald a new partnership between lovers and friends or business collaborators. It hints at the emotional support and reciprocation needed to force an emotional trust and intimacy. It can symbolize marriage or inception of the new business. But the love card shows that the harmony of the male and the female interpreted in the largest sense. It is perfect in place harmony, radiating an intensity of joy and ecstasy. Book of Thoth. Book of Thoth, yeah. And his 3 of Cups, Mercury, corresponds in the second decan phase of Cancer, and it carries a swift and communicating signature of Mercury, was referred to in the Book of Thoth as the card of abundance. This card depicts 3 friends dancing in celebration and camaraderie, and it's very social and creative card. But that hints a new level of collaboration in a harmonious yet dynamic group. But the abundance card depicts the fulfillment of the will of love and a bonding joy. It is a spiritual based fertility. Book of Thoth. Fourth moon is Cancer. Okay, the four cups and corresponds in the first of the three decan of the face Cancer, and it carries also intuitive, receptive sub signature of the moon, and it was also referring in the book of Thoth as the card of the luxury. The number 4 is stable number that suggests of time withdrawing. The figuring depicting turning their emotional awareness inward. In other words, inward or in order to disconnect from the outer world to recharge before moving forward. It can hint at the boredom and stagnancy, but that can come from feeling the emotional dull or unmotivated. The luxury card implies certain weaknesses and abundance to desire. Book of Thought. Yeah, this is it with Cancer. I read everything about it. This is Cancer. Yeah, Cancer is a unique sign. It's loving and caring, a nurturing sign, by the way. And that's our greatest compatibility. It's not a bad sign. It's a cardinal sign, by the way. So, I'm going to stop for screen share for a minute. I'm going to get to my next build up. I'm going to see, because I got to read the screen. So I know people is watching. Go P is live right now. I'm not even tripping at this point. I'm gonna get this right. Hold on, people. I'm gonna get this right. Okay, Pisces is next. Okay, we're gonna go with Pisces. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go with Pisces. Yeah, we're gonna go with Pisces. Hold on. Pisces right here. This is rugged. Yeah, that Pisces is something else. Pisces. I won't say the two fishes. Hold on. Screen share. Let me get this out the way. I know people. Yeah, this may not be open panel because I'm trying to kill this real quick. Okay. Let's look at it. And let's see what's on the screen. Hold on. Great. Let's just look at the traits. Okay, Pisces, and this traits and overview. We're on Pisces, right? And by the way, what I'm reading from is in the charts. But I'll do that on 4th of July. Give you that link for the chat. Okay, let me go back for a minute. Let's see. Let's get on Pisces. February 19th, March 20th. Symbol, 2 fishes. Mode element, mutable water. Mutable sign, by the way. Ruling planet, because they expect change. That's what it means. Ruling planet, Jupiter and Neptune. They got 2 planets, Jupiter and Neptune. And house 12th. Yeah, 12th. Yeah, 12th house. And mantra, I believe. Body parts, feet. Lymphatics, liver. Their colors is purple and white. The Taurate card, the moon. That's the fish. That's the 2 fishes. Pisces is 12th sign of the Zodiac. It is also the final sign in the Zodiac cycle. Hence, this sign brings together many of characteristics in 11 signs that have come before it. Pisces, however, are the happiest keeping many of these qualities under wraps. These folks are selfless, spiritual, and very focused on their inner journey. They also place a great weight on what they are feeling. Yes, the feeling defined the Pisces zodiac sign, and it's not uncommon for them to feel their own burdens and joys, as well as those others, and that intuition of the Pisces born is highly evolved. Many people associate Pisces with dreams and secrets, and it's fair association, since those born under the sign feel comfortable in an illusionary world, which is so true. They inside their head. That's a Pisces person, period. That goes for male and female. They imagine with their heads anyway. It's a symbolism, Christ. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the symbolism. I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna go into the element and mood and season. I'm gonna get into that. I already know about the myths on that. Everybody knows that. Let's skim right through it. Pisces element, mood, and season. Late winter. Pisces season is the Western tropical zodiac, begins on February 19th, commencing the final phase of the winter in the northern hemisphere. Hemisphere. This is the time of the year when the chill of the winter is the beginning of the oncoming warmth of spring. The days are continuing to increase in light. The underlying season sense that growth and renewal are soon returning to the world's mirrored in the reflective and inwardly creative imaginings of this Piscean archetype. Mutable mode. Pisces, fourth and final of the mutable signs in the zodiac wheel, who all hold an energy of change, limitedly adaptation at the end of one season. At the beginning of next, the Pisces begins the last phase of winter, when the cold season is less established, lending to the fluid and changeable sign qualities of Pisces. Water element. Pisces element is water, the second heaviest element thought by ancient astrologers to be the fluid and an adaptive yet tangible form of matter. Water represents the moisturing and cohering principle that binds in the connections of forms of nature. Without nothing that makes it material form of could stick together. Water fertilizes earth so that nature and creativity can incubate and boom. Pisces creativity and intuition, imagination, and strong in relational talents and are all akin to the connectivity of the water element. And you see the symbol right here. It's one of that. And Pisces planetary rulership, we're going to get into that. The domicile of Jupiter. In the classical astrology, Jupiter is the planetary ruler of both Sagittarius and Pisces. Sagittarius was thought to be the day or diurnal home of Jupiter, with Jupiter finding a second nocturnal home in the sensitive and soulful Pisces. Pisces is nocturnal with Jupiter, and the one that's non-nocturnal, the light, that is Sagittarius, is the light of that planet. So we already know about that. That's it. Did I get to the nocturnal part? Okay. Jupiter has a full affinity with the imaginative and spiritual tendencies this sign, but because it is in its nocturnal home, these themes take on more interior meditative expression. This placement represents a more thoughtful, reflective, and gentle versions of Jupiter's bold planetary energy. Pisces is potentially the archetype of the more private and mysterious seeker than the ebullient, the ebullient, outgoing Sagittarius. Those born with the Jupiter in the sign of the two fishes tend to have a strong belief in the unseen forces of the universe, are often mystic seekers and teachers. And here's the detriment of Mercury. Pisces is polarity with the mutable earth sign Virgo. Okay, polarity, they're polar opposites. They're polarity with the mutable earth sign Virgo, ruled by Jupiter. Pisces like to seek, expand, dissolve boundaries, where Virgo, ruled by Mercury, likes to organize material world, focus on fine details, seek perfection. When it's the opposite sign of its preferred home, Mercury, it is said to be in a detriment or at a sort of disadvantage in Pisces. But imagine the planet of a clear communication and information having to live in Jupiter's boundless and philosophical world. Mercury may get lost going off-road on adventure storytelling tangents and would find it difficult to communicate and translate its ideas. Result is Mercury having a compensated, translated big Jupiterian philosophical ideas into day-to-day conversations. This could appear as a poetic and epic use of language, and a quiet for the truth and the meaning in all intellectual endeavors. It could also mean that those born with this placement may struggle with focusing on the day to day and may often daydream or lose track of time. They may have to be work harder on creating intellectual structure and getting to the point. With this planet sign combination could present challenges and ways to these natives need to learn as their own pace. It could be produce poets, songwriters as well. An exaltation of Venus. Since Venus is exaltation opposite in the Pisces sign and falling in the Virgo, while not in her decimal, Venus is still very powerful, a place in Pisces as an esteemed guest of honor. And Jupiter's nocturnal sign has access to the unique resources to help her deliver some of her positive gifts and expressions. Venus's powers of love, attraction, beauty, and art blend well in Jupiter's spiritual, affirming energies, giving the natives with this placement some extra luck or these matters, and it can produce a very sweet, sensitive, loving people who sacrifice themselves for the good choices. Natives, this placement may be also strong creative talents and taking their art of transcend inspiring levels. Okay, modern ruler, Neptune. The circumstances of Neptune's scurry as transcend and mysterious at this planet's significance inspired disturbance in Uranus orbit. Neptune's the founders of followed by theoretical calculations and a sort of scientific faith in an existence. It turns out it has been observed for centuries before, but it was mistakenly for a blue fixed star. But the affirmation of Neptune's existence seems to have unfolded when the world's perceptions and inventions caught up with a dawning reality of how expansive our universe truly is. The illusionary states that Neptune is can be connected to the way it is called in illusions on astronomers. Until they understood what they were seeing, they awe-inspiring and innovative the themes surrounding Neptune's discovery and lend themselves to how Neptune earns its significance and connection as a modern sub-ruler to the imaginative Pisces. Interesting. Pisces house rulership, the 12th house. In the modern astrology scenes, the 12th letter of the alphabet. Each zodiac sign rules one of the 12 houses in the birth chart. This innovation was created by psychological astrologers to match sign affinities to relate the house projects. Pisces was assigned to the 12th house of isolation, confinement, retreat, since Pisces deep, reflective, and interior territory, along with the concerns of this house. Since Pisces is ruled by hopeful Jupiter and transcend Neptune, this system invites these philosophical and spiritual planetary sub-signatures to the 12th house. The 11th house, the classical astrology Pisces planetary ruler, Jupiter, was said to find its joy in the 11th house, or of a good spirit, in the birth chart. But the house associated with the friends, alliances, hopes, and gifts, it is natural, affirming, and happy places for Jupiter to be in. Since Jupiter likes to expand and affirm belief in the faithful, this house speaks to the opportunities that are available to you. Available to us when we feel we belong to a loving community. With a connection to the Piscean planetary ruler, these communities could be social, but also spiritual, providing encouragement, validation, and support. But the 11th house is also with the alliances we form, but the gifts we receive in our public social rules, perhaps as an extension of our career activities. Okay, Pisces characteristics, personality. Pisces traits are derived from the receptive feminine or the yin qualities, making this sign oriented towards compilation and engagement with inner the awareness alive in both of a Pisces woman or man. Those born with the fishes as their rising sun or moon sign have a mystical, intuitive, trans transcendental dynamic in the core of their personality, an echo of the seasonal awakening in the late winter. As a mutable sign, Pisces holds adaptive, fluid, shape shifting qualities. Those with the sign of the two fishes prominent in their charts are sensitive seekers who have potential to bring a soulful, healing energy to their relationships and communities. Here's their strengths. The primary Pisces strengths can be found in their tender and sympathetic and receptive nature. Naturally compensated and empathetic, Pisces are wired to offer spiritual, artistic gifts to the world. These are the poets and musicians and painters and intuitive counselors in our communities. With the Jupiter's influence on the faith of belief, sense of the higher purpose, the Pisceans can be counted on to offer help and healing support to anyone who is in need. Those natives tend to drift through life on in their schedule in the following inner sense: that life is unfolding as it would. Idealistic and imaginative, those born under the two fishes signs have an otherworldly quality to them, but seem to retain the sense of innocence, sense of innocence and wonder their whole lives. These natives often believe in the good of others, will likely give the benefit of the doubt. When they fall in love, Pisceans do so completely and will give much of themselves, their friends and partners, to nurture the nurture of a connection. Pisces natives seem to be born with an open conduit to the other side, and those who prominent Piscean charts placements are often mystics, mediums, and psychics. While the rest of us may outgrow the playful reveries of our childhood, there is a part of the Pisces personality that never becomes fully practical or attached to the material possessions. They often retreat into meditative solitude to recharge and contemplate the practice that is especially important to these sensitive souls. With a few attachments, their mutable natures are ready to move and adapted to new surroundings or ideas, making it hard for them to get bored or stuck in a rut. As the 12th final sign of the zodiac, the Piscean's archetype is that of the soul who would have made be living as the incarnation before ascending to the heavens. That's their strengths. Take a swig real quick. My mouth is dry. Oh, excuse me. Weakness. Some potential weakness in the Pisces archetype are rooted in their great strengths, though natives from this sign are tended and sympathetic, and they may take a certain comments too much to heart and get easily wounded emotionally. Often creative, artistic, Pisceans may struggle with how to materialize their pursuits into a tangible function, livelihood. Being naturally adaptive and changeable can be an assert, but it can also make it harder for these natives to follow through or stick with tedious details, following their sense of time and often getting sidetracked. And those born under the sign of the two fishes need to somehow to find a way to be mindful and respectful of others in others' time. Those born under Jupiter's benevolent influence like to believe in the good of others, but they must be discerned and discriminating. Selflessness and self-sacrifice are beautiful gifts that the Pisceans offer, but this can lead to them to do needy and vulnerable and codependent in love relationships. Oh man, something got in my eye. Hold on, y'all. Felt a pinch. Felt the pinch, y'all. Hold on. Almost got sidetracked for a minute. It may be a sad reality to accept, but these natives need to realize that others may take it too much advantage if they cannot build their resilience, instruction, and an autonomy. Yeah, autonomy. My fault. Autonomy. When it comes to offering their gifts to the world, boundaries are of a prime importance to preserve the Piscean's energy. Like all water signs, Pisces is vulnerable to absorb toxic energies. So if they are offering healing or counseling work, they need to have cleansing practice. Breathing exercise, saunas, smudging, protective aura visualizations are all ways these natives can maintain psychic health. Enjoying solitude as well as retreating from time to time to recharge are importance to practice for the Pisces as well. However, this needs to be kept in balance as there can be a danger in withdrawing for too long. But these natives may be of a feel fearful to reemerging and can get lost into escapism, self medication, avoidance. It it will be important for Pisceans to seek support and counseling for themselves if they feel overwhelmed by the weight of the world's emotional pain, as well as addressing their own emotional needs. Pisceans' children will be well nurtured if they are supported in their creative talents, are encouraged to balance their sweet. Given natures with healthy boundaries, play at times can be rough and tumble and tumble. So these young ones need guidance and on how to let insensitivity of others roll off their backs. You see the symbolism of the female right here. And let's talk about their careers. Let me see. Let me see how many hours we in. Okay, it's an hour. It's all good. It's all good now. We're dealing with the Pisces right now. So we're dealing with it right now. So yeah, this may not be open panel. So we're gonna get this one out the way. They'll check this out later. Um, we're gonna talk about it because this is gonna be a short stream for the lives and others. So okay, let's talk about the careers. The mantra purpose, the voice of empathy, idealism, and mystical comes forward to in the Pisces mantra, I believe. Those born under the sign of two fishes find purpose in exploring the unknown by being of service. In a unique creative expression, operating in an immutable mode, Pisces adapt and share their healing gifts with their communities, channel their transcendental ideas into their creative projects. With one foot in this world, one foot in the next, Pisces seek to bridge the realm of the spiritual with everyday mundane realities. They're here to remind us that everything is sacred, that we all hold a spark of divinity within. We all have Pisces somewhere in our birth chart, so we can look to the house that the two fishes rule to find the specific area of our life. We approach in an idealistic, intuitive way, or where we need to call in a mystery and creativity to master. Okay. Pisces at work. Pisces' expansive, adaptive, imaginative nature makes them uniquely suited for jobs that they can heal and support, or can be creative and imaginative. This can also take from many professions and roles, but it will likely not be found in jobs. They are high-paced, risky, or stressful. These natives may need to cultivate a safe, private work environment where they can connect and dream and follow their intuition. Routine and structure don't come natural to Pisces natives, so they can borrow the skills of their opposite sign, Virgo, to learn how to create a schedule and sense of material order. That being said, Pisceans are still very productive if left to their own devices, as they are often following a big picture or plan that others don't yet to perceive. But those born with the sign of the two fishes prominent in their birth charts may not fit into many conventional jobs, may have to use their powers of adaptation to create new professions for themselves. That does not yet exist. But the compassion and the healing talents of the Pisces, as well as the 12th house of the connection in institutions, can lead these native roles to as physicians and nurses in hospitals. And they may even also tend to those who have isolated in persons and mental health facilities. These natives may also work in rehab, assisting people with the healing on the soul level from trauma and addictions. Yeah, Pisceans are natural therapists and counselors that may be suited for psychiatric and psychological roles. In this field, these natives can use their receptive listening and skills to support and growth and positive life strategies. With an interest in spirituality and the faith of Pisces can be drawn in order to roles in religious communities here. And we may see them as the chaplains or pastors at the service or quiet retreat, as monks or nuns, thieves and natives, and explore whatever religious devotion. Hold on a second, y'all. I'm back. Let me read this again. The therapist, psychologist roles. In this field, these natives can also use their receptive listening skills support growth, positive life strategies. Within an instrument in spirituality and faith, Pisces can be drawn into leadership roles, religious communities. Here, we may see them as chaplains or pastors at the service or a quiet retreat, as monks or nuns. Oh, I read this. Okay. These natives may explore many facets of religious devotion and are interested in the universal message behind the various world belief systems. Mystics by nature, these natives are curious about the occult and may go outside of society's norms, practical spiritual devotion. They may be alternative belief systems or may work as psychics or mediums or clairvoyants. Wellness profession of all kinds would be well suited to the Pisces. And we may find these natives teaching yoga, nutrition, and meditation to their local communities. They may prefer seeing people on a one-to-one basis where they can where they can offer personalized care practice that suited the unique needs of their clients. Pisceans may take water and base professions like their fish archetype as sailors, divers, swimmers, and lifeguards. They may also enjoy roles in marine biology or as a oceanographers with environmental protection in mind. Those with the strong two fishes placements in their charts can be found in a creative professions of all kinds. With a modern connection to the illusory Neptune, many of these folks are working in the film industry, and either in front of the front or behind the camera. Pisces are often natural musicians, poets, fantasy writers, and artists. Explore universal message with their various mediums. Yes, Pisces is, and I want to show you who's the popular. I ain't gonna show you who I'm gonna read them off to you. I got another one. Hold on. I'm gonna do something real quick. Let's see the content for a minute. Sorry, y'all. I've been moving around. It's a long stream. You already got 4 likes. Great. I know people's not in here for the moment. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Okay, let's look at Pisces for a minute. When we just read celebrity wise. Okay, Pisces, therapist, poet, sad clown, all that vapor. Who's the popular famous Pisces? Nia Simone, Pierre Pablo Bassanelli, Janice, Rihanna, etc., etc. So we're not going to get into that. We're dealing with zodiacs today. Yay. We'll deal with this shit today. Yeah. Pisces compatible. When exploring overall compatibility in astrology, it is important to consider more than the sun sign as the rising sign or moon and other planetary alignments, as aspects will tell the whole story in the relationships. That being said, Pisces natives will tend to blend best with water signs and earth signs and may need to work harder on relationships with fire and air signs. So we're dealing with water sign. We'll deal with the Scorpio in a minute. That's the last one we're going to do. And I'm going to wrap it up. See how much time I'm going to get. Because I think everybody left in the chat. He said, gotta run. All right, peace. I'm just reading off. Yeah, okay, cool. Concurrent viewers. Yeah, I'm gonna do this right. Okay. Fire signs. Sensitive, private Pisces may find the volatile, impulsive fire signs the most challenging to relate to fire. Fire signs have a directness, intensity that these gentle natives may find overwhelming. For example, being adjacent signs on the zodiac wheel Aries, Pisces share a little in common. In many ways, they are quite opposite, but it's not a complementary manner. Mars ruled Aries is assertive, individualistic, where Jupiter ruled by Pisces is reflective and self-sacrificing. They might have lessons to teach each other, but may fundamentally be two different, truly male. That's right. That's not the greatest compatibility. I did that something like that on a different link website on the zodiac. Okay, let's go with Sagittarius. Sagittarius and Pisces share Jupiter rulership, which can help them find affinities relate. Both are mystic, idealistic seekers, but they have very different ways of exploring these themes. Sagittarius likes to roam, where Pisces needs to retreat. So they may not agree on how to spend time together. Even more so, their signs form a square aspect to each other in the zodiac, which can hint a friction. Yeah, that's true. It's a friction. That's why it won't work. Here's Leo. Leo and Pisces also do not share anything modally or elementally in common, but as if they have troubling seeing and understanding others' different nature. Leo's self-centered passions may clash too much with Pisces. Yeah, their best fit is the Sagittarius. That's all I can say. If they go that way, may clash. And soulful universal ideal loves and the universal ideal loves. Leo may feel forgotten or neglected when Pisces retreats into solitude, making it challenging for these two these two find a mutual rhythm. Leo's a fixed sign; they're traditionalists. They want things traditionally bound. Let me take the charger off my phone that y'all can hear me. Okay, let's go with the air signs. Let's deal with that. Swift, speedy, and social could at first be fun and refreshing in Pisces' insular and private world, but ultimately these natives may find the air signs too talkative and frantic to fully relax with. Gemini and Pisces form a square aspect to each other, similar to the Sagittarius on the other zodiac wheel. They're mutable signs. That's why Sagittarius, Gemini, and Pisces and Virgo are mutable signs. That's why it's a good mesh. Sagittarius and Pisces is a good mesh if they can work each other out. And they have a few weaknesses with each other, but it can work. Gemini is the best fit. Libra is a cardinal sign that ain't gonna work. Aquarius ain't gonna work. It's a fixed sign. We're gonna read them in a minute. So our square and zodiac wheel, and so there are very different natures may tend to work at a cross purpose, though they share a mutable mode. It means change. They are different in every other way. Gemini is restless, talkative, and is endlessly fascinated by facts and information, while Pisces is reflective, slow to peak, and is focused on universal truths. They may find a little common ground. Yes, they have something in common. That's the best fit for the air sign, even though air and fire is their weakness. Because the only sign I would say is a pick is Gemini and Sagittarius because of the mutable signs. So quality signs, in a sense, if they're dealing with fire and air, is Gemini and I will say Sagittarius. But even though that's a quality concept, compatibility. Now we're talking about the greatest compatibility. That's like the elements. And see, Virgo is probably the better fit for the Pisces because they get each other. That's an earth sign. That's the only one that can fit. Now, it does work well with Taurus too. It's a fixed sign. They have a lot of compatibilities. We'll see. Because the Taurus can get along with the Pisces if they willing. That's just an option. It ain't the greatest. It's one of them. But you see, I like this one, this website right here. Libra and Pisces have some similarities. Both tend to be peaceful and seek calm and balance in their lives. Libra is more outgoing. Pisces more private, so they may not share the same space very often. Libra also tries to keep the conversation light on the surface, while Pisces wants to go deep and make it hard for them to merge long term. See, Pisces deals with your head. That's why it's a bad mesh. Here's Aquarius. With the Pisces are adjacent to each other on the zodiac wheel, sharing common element, mode, or planetary rule. Aquarius is dry and aloof, while Pisces is sensitive and sentimental, so they speak very different love languages. It may not be a satisfying match long term. That's because Aquarius is self-righteous. They have that attitude. Like, it's a fixed sign, but it's very tricky. We'll get into that tomorrow. Fire and air signs tomorrow, 4th of July. Let me see the date. Let me make adjustments, because I don't want to go over, because they ain't gonna let me sit down at late night, because I might have to push it back to whatever. Okay, I said 7:50. Let's edit it something. I got time today. Let's try 2 something. 2:15, 2:10. Let's try with 2:10 today. Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. We're gonna go with Capricorn first. That's a long one. That may be an open panel, because I won't go longer, because I'm doing this in the morning. Oh, I should say AM. My fault. Okay. Water signs are a lovely match to the Pisces. Sensitivity, emotional intelligence with the greatest affinity. They speak a similar soul language, share psychic, creative, intuitive current between them that transcends words. Cancer with the Pisces is a sweet, sensitive, caring match. Both are interested in healing service work and will love sharing secluded privacy. They make a good team, which they do. That's a great match for them. And agree on how much they create harmonious home and life. They understand the empathize with each other's deep moods, offering empathetic support to one another. Now, here's the Scorpio magnetic match. This is kind of like a rivalry. Pisces and Scorpio share love for the mystical and will likely explore spiritual, philosophical ideas to the relationship. This is a complementary pairing that is initially intuitive, creative, and otherworldly. They share a love of mystery and inner workings of a mind of a soul. Scorpio, the more daring of the two, inspiring Pisces out of its comfort zone. Yeah, Scorpio and Pisces is a good fit. Cancer is similar to like the earth signs compatible with each other. That's why. That's probably their greatest compatibility. I think it's Cancer. Pisces potentially have the most affinity and understanding between them. However, they may be so much alike they get lost in a world with their own making. They may be creative collaborators and explore spiritual practice together, but they will need to remember to take time from coming out of their meditative solitude, enjoying activities to keep them grounded. Earth signs, here we go. Bring complementary and elemental affinity to a relationship with Pisces, since practical structure, earth, and emotive water blend well, helping the Pisces be more practical and grounded. Pisces and Capricorn are a good fit. My fault. I'll read that again. Pisces and Capricorn are a good fit. With the Capricorn offering patience, practicality to the two fishes' dreamy world, Pisces reminds Capricorn of its mystical side. Capricorn helps Pisces materialize its unique ideas. They are inspiring, complementary pair and have many beneficial resources to share. Pisces and Virgo are opposite signs in the zodiac wheel, while it can create complementary or polarizing pair. Virgo offers structure and attention to detail to the Pisces' dreamy life. Pisces help Virgo to relax, just be. Each has a little something to that the others needs. So together they could feel the whole picture. However, their difference may try others' impatience at times. Here we go. Pisces with Taurus is a lovely pleasure-seeking match, both enjoying taking their time together and exploring sensory indulgences the world has to offer. But the Taurus helps Pisces ground it into their body and supports their emotional needs patiently. And Pisces helps Taurus to stay in touch with life's mysteries and not to become too materialistic. Yeah, it's a good fit. Taurus gets along with everybody in the relationship. Pisces health is constitution. I ain't gonna get into that. It's a long one. Let's get with the body parts. So, yeah, the vitals, plasma. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the health. I'm gonna skip for now. I'm not gonna get into the health. We're gonna get into the body part. We ain't gonna get into constitution. That's a long read. Classical astrology medicine, the entire zodiac was mapped out. The human body with Pisces ruling over the feet. Internally, liver, lymphatic system, that their feet may be rather longing, sensitive, well developed with flexible finger like toes. Pisces feet may be vulnerable to the cold. Joint pain disorders like arthritis and gout. The liver, being Jupiter's organ, is also in need of a protection of a care similar to Sagittarius. Piscean natives will believe from a bitter foods and herbs that stimulate the digestive bile and help the liver and cleanse their blood and toxins and hormonal byproducts. The lymphatic system is also the key area of their native support, as excess toxins and mucus and stagnant fluids can block this cleansing system from circulating freely. But the principle of the osmosis seems to be an active force for the Piscean body, and they tend to absorb chemical and emotional impurities from their environments. They also can be prone to catching colds and viruses. Also, they can take on depression and frustrations of those in their lives. Whole unpressed whole unprocessed foods, immune boosting remedies, and cleansing practice will help Pisceans protect their bodies and auras from disease. Yeah, I ain't gonna get into the herbals and all that stuff. That's so long. Let's deal with the esoteric. I'm gonna get to the Tauric cards and I'm gonna end that. Let's deal with the Tauric card. The Zodiac card is the Chaldean order. Let's see. Hold on for a minute. Yeah, it's going to go on an hour. Because I know people's live right now. The three deacons of the Pisces, each of the 12 signs represent 30 slice 30 degrees band of the constellations circling the earth 30 degrees. Each sign can be further subdivided into 310 degrees deacons of the faces when it's planetary sub-ruler and around the zodiac in the Chaldean order. Okay, these faces, timely magical rituals, blah, blah, blah. Harness Jupiter's planetary power. Here we go. First deacon, Saturn. Degrees 0 to 9. Pisces ruled by Saturn. This may be heightening discipline and discernment and boundary and setting for those in the planet for the points in the face. However, we may find some of the more grounded, serious, and old soul Pisceans and compared to the other deacons. So they can't cut. Degrees. 10 to 19 Pisces are ruled. This is powerful placement of Jupiter since Pisces is benevolent planets, Dr. Domicile, and its deacon heightens in the Jupiterian powers, making it with the planets, points in the faces, especially the spiritual, mystical, and self-sacrificing, and these natives more likely to be religious, teachers, or mentors of some kind. Third deacon Pisces, Mars, 20 degrees, 29 degrees, ruled by assertive, driven Mars. This can be a bit unusual combination. Since Mars is a warrior planet, Pisces is soulful and sensitive. This deacon can also have the theme of spiritual warrior. And when those planets were appointed, when they're here to have this charitable causes to help less fortunate, they also suppress of anger and aversions of confrontation. Yeah. They deal with the moons, arcanas, Jupiter and Neptunians. Yeah, I ain't gonna get into that. I'm just gonna deal with the esoteric stuff. Yeah, the tarot card is the moon. Um, yeah, I'm gonna put this into a halt because I know people gonna watch the replay. Okay, my fault. Let me get back to it. Let me get back to the last zodiac we're gonna do, and I'm gonna wrap it up. All right, I'll be back, y'all. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Shit, let me get this shit off the screen. Okay, Scorpio, the final one of the water sign. Here we go. Scorpio in the trades. You see, it's the scorpion, right? We know the symbol scorpion. We know October 23rd, November 21st. Fixed sign and water sign. Mantra, I transform. Tarot card, death. We're going to read the tarot card and the esoteric stuff. Okay. The ruling planet, Mars and Pluto. The genitals and the bowels. Wow. 8. The house is 8. The colors is red and black. Scorpio. You see the colors right here, right? Red, black. So we know Scorpio is the 8th sign of the zodiac. that shouldn't be taken lightly, nor should Scorpios. Those born under this sign are dead serious in their mission to learn and about others. There's no fluff or chatter for Scorpios. Either these folks will zero in one essential questions, gleaning to secrets that lie within. The Scorpio zodiac sign concerns itself with the beginnings and endings and is unafraid of either. They also travel in a world that is black and white and has little use for gray. The curiosity of Scorpios is immeasurable, which is maybe why they are such an adept investigators. The folks with a Scorpio horoscope sign love, probe, and know how to get to the bottom of things. The fact that they have been keen sense of the intuition certain helps. Yeah, this is Ramil and Topaz and the slug sign. We call it the slug over here. Um, Very interesting. Very interesting. You know, and I'm just saying right now, like that's in a moment that we're in time. So and yeah, man. Yeah. And yeah, we're doing it. And yeah, it's a lot of people with this sign. I have a cousin that's in this sign too. They're straight to the point. And dude done came back. He's a Scorpio as well. That's why they wild. They sent him myth, constellations, Babylonian times. I'm not gonna get into the myth. We already know about that. Let's get into the element and mode and season. Mid-Atom Scorpio season is the Western tropical zodiac. Begins on October 23rd, commencing the middle of the autumn. The atom, atom, my fault. The atom. Okay. Mid-Atom. Okay. Commencing the atom in the northern hemisphere. This is the time of the year when in the sun's heat and light are beginning to wane, with the darkness of night beginning to outweigh the daylight hours. From this point, the days continue to decrease in the length towards the winter uh, solstice, and it's during the Scorpio's time that many world cultures observe them of death and rebirth. In holidays like Halloween, Samhain, All Saints Day, El Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead. That's a Mexican holiday. The Day of the Dead. El Dia de Muertos means Day of the Dead. That's what it means in Spanish. It's El Dia de los Muertos. That means Day of the Dead. Okay. Scorpio's connection with inward reflections. The shadow's transformation is mirrored in the mystery of Macalinoli of the Atom season. Fixed mode, fixed sign, traditionalists. Scorpio is the third of the four fixed signs of the zodiac, who hold all the elemental energy of endurance, stability, and the center phase of the four seasons. Scorpio begins in the middle of the atom. When the season is the most fixed and established, lending to the deep, tenacious, and obsessive tendencies of the Scorpio, water element. Scorpio's personality traits are relatively to this element, which is water, the second heaviest element, though by the ancient astrologers to be the fluid, adaptive, yet a tangible form of matter. Water represents the moistening and cohering principle that binds and connects all forms of nature. Without it, nothing that takes the material form and stick together. Water fertilizes Earth's soul so that the nature and creativity can be incubate and bloom. Scorpio's creative intuition and imagination and strong investigate powers are all akin to consolidating connectivity of the water element. Scorpio planetary rulership. How long we got into this stream? It's almost 2 hours. It's a 2-hour stream. Yes, this is no panel. You just getting straight work, straight information, straight yield. Let's talk about the Scorpio for a minute. The celebrities. Leonardo DiCaprio, Charles Manson. Yep. Sylvia Plath, Borgic. Best career con artist, puppet master, brooding protagonist, poultryist, and cult leader. Yeah. And Scorpio for you. And I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to keep this up. Because to me, when I cut these live streams down, I'm going to cut this off in a minute or two. I'll go on a little longer. Dasmiel Mars is a classical astrology. Mars is a planetary rule of both Aries and Scorpio. Aries was thought to be the day or diurnal home of Mars, with Mars finding a second nocturnal home in brooding and secretive Scorpio. In Scorpio, Mars has a full affinity and potency in the warrior, like tendencies of this sign. But because of its nocturnal home, these powers take on more secretive and covert expressions. This placement presents in a slower and cooler and more calculated use of anger and drive. Scorpio is more patient and emotionally psychological nuance than brash and brazen Aries. Those born with the Mars and Scorpio can be more tactical, observant, and to wield behind the scenes of the power of the motto, revenge is the dish, the best served cold. Yep, suits this tenacity, fixable-tated archetype. We got into the planetary and modern Pluto. We ain't gonna get into the full moon. We're gonna get into the house. We're gonna skip the full moon. Oh, we may get that. It's 12th letter of the alphabet. We're going to get in the house. We're going to get into the personalities. Yeah, this is going to be a little longer. We're going to deal with Scorpions in a minute. So this may take a little longer. Okay. I'll scratch that. Modern ruler Pluto, planet Pluto, named for the god of the underworld, was discovered during the pivotal time, modern history, found by astronomer Clyde Tombaugh in 1930. Pluto appeared out of the darkness through the theories of a trans-Neptunian planet at the time. Many powerful Plutian synchronicities were happening in the world, like the massive world wars and exploration of depth of psychology and the splitting of the atom. The latter discovered the saddle humanity with the responsibility and ability to unleash the mass destruction never seen before. Astrologers of the modern era assigned Pluto as the co-ruler of Scorpio. Since it's a dark theme of power, destruction, inner discovery, were similar to the theme this mysterious archetype explores, combined with the assertive power of Mars. Scorpio, Plutonian sub-signature, makes this archetype uniquely suited in the comfort and transfer of personal collective trauma. Detriment, Venus. It's a planetary fixed Earth with the Taurus ruled by Mars. Scorpios like to comfort and conquer, where Taurus is ruled by Venus, like it's to connect, to keep the peace. When in the opposite sign of her preferred home, it is said to be a detriment or as a sort of disadvantage in Scorpio. Image of the planetary goddess of love and luxury and attraction, having to stay in a secret military bunker with only weapons and war and trophies at the resource to make a life. With the sign of placement, she would have a compensated in Venus and Scorpio natives, often being private and secretive and perhaps mistrustful in love, but they may have a frequent confidence and fall in their passions, may be overwhelmed by their desires, emotional attachments. Those born with this placement have the do or die attitude. When it comes to love, either going all in or becoming vengeful. If they are scorned in love and affection, and the connection may either be somewhat of fraud for their natives or very potent, exciting, and outside norms of society. But the passion and friction that is a placement produced may be channeled into the artistic pursuits of their creative individuals. So yeah, that's the detriment. And then the fall of the moon, of course, Scorpio will not challenge the integrate detriment. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm gonna skip that. Let's get into rulership. Yeah, that's a long read. I know the dark moods, and we'll bounce back and forth with that. Yeah, I might not read that. Y'all can read that for yourself. Okay, if y'all want to know what I'm reading, this is Scorpio. Just get an idea. I'm gonna put this link in the chat, in the stream chat, because what we have here is not going into live stream just now. It's 2 hours. It's pacing it. I know people got to go to work and chill and barbecue. Yeah, put the Scorpio, yeah, Zodiac sign. So you know how it is. I'm gonna read this off. Everybody's gonna catch my replays. Okay, Scorpio house rulership. 8th house in the modern astrology system, and the 12th letter of the alphabet. Each sign rules of one of the 12 hours in the birth chart. The innovation was created by the psychological astrologers to match sign affinities to relate house topics. Scorpio was assigned to the 8th house of the endings of the death and inheritance, and since Scorpio's dark territory seems to align with the concern of this house. Since Scorpio is ruled by assertive Mars and potent Pluto, and it invites these transformative planetary sub-signatures to the house. 6th house, traditional astrology, Scorpio's planetary rule. Mars was found in some joy. In the 6th house, bad fortune, health, service of the birth chart. This is related to the market. Classically being considered the most difficult, malfacet planets in astrology. Response for the conflicts, violence, and injuries in the life of these natives when bodily place. But since the 6th house has connection to the health challenges and hard luck, Mars can joyfully express in more unwelcome offerings here, or at least leg up an extra Marcy and powerful. So the characteristics of a Scorpio and architectural traits derived from the receptive, feminine, or yin qualities, making this sign ordinating towards the contemplation and engagement with inner awareness, alive with both Scorpio and Scorpio men. These both Scorpion as their rising and sun and moon signs with okay. And as a fixed sign, Scorpio holds qualities of being a sustainer, being able to apply profound powers, concentration of projects, and discovering hidden truths. As a result, those with this with the sign of the Scorpion prominent in their charts tend to be magnetic, highly sensitive, intuitive, creative, and secretive at times. Okay. They change like a weather too. This is gonna be a long one. I didn't expect this to be long. I could have did this early in the morning. Okay. Because people's getting on my nerves. Hold on, y'all. Personality. Okay. Okay. Oh shit. I got this out. Yeah. Let's go with the characteristics. Primary Scorpio strengths can be found in their devoted, determined, and observant natures. They are hard workers, often artistic, deeply committed to study and research. You can count on the Scorpion to see whatever they have committed to through to the end. Scorpios tend to be receptive and patient, letting others play their cards and show their intentions first. To be to better understand the emotional and psychological dynamics of their relationship, magnetic and mysterious, Scorpio is drawn toward dark, taboo, or occult subjects and are curious about the hidden facets of life that others may shy away from. That's Ramil for you. He's a Scorpio too. The Scorpions tend to be fearless in the dark, avoid in mysterious inner depths of the psyche and potent realities of like the death transformation. While Scorpio is often misunderstood and feared as an archetype, those born under the sign are very sensitive, empathetic, and can be quite compassionate. They may compassionately bound themselves heart and soul to those they care for. Once they feel they can trust, they are quite loyal to the friends and lovers that they make into their inner circle. Scorpio understands the innately what it feels like to be the weirdo or the outsider, and they have a natural connection to the underdog, those who are deemed untouchable in society. Because of this, they are uniquely poised to be the great service to those in our society that suffer the most, like the homeless, the mentally ill, and the people who have been outcast for uh, divergent spiritual beliefs or lifestyles. Anyone with a preference that challenges conventional sexual, spiritual, and social ideas are potentially the Scorpion's greatest allies. The sources of affinity and acceptance in Scorpio can take the emotional intelligence, understanding, and healing to the darkest circumstances, and may have had to overcome in some healing or transformative experience or their own in their lives. Their fearless understanding in trauma and survival makes these folks the strongest psychic and spiritual warriors. Weakness, some potential weakness in the Scorpio archetype are rooted in their great strengths, though they are determined and devoted to their work. They can be so rigid and fixated and obsessed that it can be difficult to adapt to changes or let go of the idea of no longer useful. Those born under the sign of the Scorpion are receptive and patient, but then can be suspicious and slow to trust. Others may be forthcoming about their vulnerabilities, but if a Scorpios are feeling secure, they can use what others have revealed to be emotionally manipulative and controlling. Like the other fixed signs, they can be slow to forgive. Right. And those that cross the Scorpion may feel their vengeful sting. The stinger, that's right. Being naturally drawn to taboo occult subjects can have a Scorpion inordinately focus on the dark side of life, giving them a pessimistic and a nihilistic worldview. Let's read that again. If inordinately focus on the dark side of life, giving them a pessimistic and nihilistic worldview. Yeah, they're very nihilistic. I do believe that. It's so true. And most of them are Scorpios too, philosophers. Come to find out, some proof to that. I do believe that. They may start seeking darker motives everywhere, which can lead to the isolations and paranoia. It can then be hard to relax and trust and enjoy life's simple pleasures to stay in balance. Naturally sensitive and passionate, and those born under the sign of the Scorpion can give them the heart and the soul when it seeks love and sexual connection. But if this isn't reciprocated with the same intensity, they can become needy and obsessed with their lovers. Because of their correlations with the planet Pluto, Scorpios are often drawn to go beyond of the fringes societies to seek thrill and adventure. Yet this can easily lead the Scorpios into danger and self-destruction like a moth to the flame. They're lured towards intensity, but this may not always be in their best interest. Like all water signs, Scorpio is vulnerable to absorb toxic energy. So if they are offering healing or counseling work, they need to have cleansing practices, breathing exercises, saunas, smudging, and protective auras. Visualization are all the ways of the Scorpio native can be maintained a psych health. Scorpios may need to seek to maintain the healing of their own before they engage in service work. Moon in Scorpio natives especially may have to work through dark moods and depression at times their lives. Scorpio children will be nurtured if they are accepted unconditionally and not shamed for having unique interests or big life questions. Acceptance at home may help offset a teenage Scorpio's rebellion, and challenging artistic pursuits or martial arts may keep these fearless and natives positively occupied. That's a Scorpio for you. And his career in life, yes, a mystery. I'm not gonna get into that. They're very unique in their career. They deal with mystery and they work. Not so much. I worked with a few Scorpios. Let's get to the compatibilities. When exploring overall astrological compatibility, it's important to consider more than the sun sign at the rising and the moon. Other planetary connections will tell the whole story in all kinds of relationships. That being said, Scorpio natives will tend to blend best with water and earth signs and may need to work harder on the fire and air signs. Fire signs. Sensitive and private Scorpio may find the volatile, impulsive fire signs the most challenging to relate. Although Scorpio and Aries share the Mars rulership, therefore some affinity when it comes to power, they may have such a different way of wielding it, and that may be the harder of these signs to relate. Aries is confrontational, while Scorpio is covert. So they may struggle for control a little bit to compromise. That's right. They're really alike. They share the same planet. One's cardinal, one's fixed. Usually don't work. But the Leos and Scorpios usually don't work. We already know that. But they can work. Those are the two that can work. They share the planet and they share that. So it's similar to us. So Sagittarius and Scorpio share nothing when it comes to their elements or modalities and being adjacent signs. They're like neighbors. They have no reason to talk to each other except for the fact that they share a fence. Sagittarius is bodily optimistic, while Scorpio sees the skeletons in everyone's closet, making their values and beliefs too different to harmonize for their long term. Yeah, Scorpio is similar to a mix between a Capricorn and a Taurus in the fixed sign world. I hate to say that. That's our, we're both stubborn. That's the greatest compatibility of my sign. So, we'll get to that later. That will be at 2 something. I'll deal with that later. That later. Because since it's been 2 hours, we're going to go in. We're going to finish. Leo, Scorpio, both fixed signs form a challenging square angle to each other in the Zodiac wheel, and both are equally passionate and jealous as they are stubborn, which can either ignite sexual tension or devolve into power struggles. They may, however, have an interesting creative chemistry, but they can help each other their potent personalities blend. Yeah, potent personality blend. Yeah, that's because they're fixed signs. Sagittarius won't work. Okay, let's go with the air signs. We'll deal with the water signs in a minute. Hold on. Are social, speedy, swift, which could be a breath of fresh air in Scorpio's dark and insular world. But immediately, Scorpio may find the air signs a bit too breezy and changeable to trust long term. Yeah, but Scorpio changes like the weather too. Depends on if they mesh well. Now, Aquarius and Scorpio can work. I can see that. They have a dark side. Geminis and Scorpios do not share much in common, except for their shared love of button pushing. Geminis knows how others tick, and Scorpios like to pull the levers behind the curtain. They may appreciate each other's mischief and mental capacities, but will need to be careful to not turn this tendency on each other too often. Yeah, the Scorpio wins the fixed sign. Gemini's not so much. They play into their personalities. We already know that. Scorpios is the king of that. Gets the best of the Geminis, but we've seen that. But it can go either way. They're very similar in that regard. Libras is different. We know this. Are opposite in many ways. Venus ruled Libra loves to keep the peace and wants to see the world through the rose-colored glasses. Mars ruled Scorpio is wired for confrontation and has X-ray vision when it comes to secrets others are trying to hide. The result is a clash in worldviews that may be too different to reconcile. Aquarius with a Scorpio is a unique match that has the potential to go very right or very wrong. There will be a little moderation between them. Both are stubborn fixed signs. There's fixed sign. They both. That's right. That's good. This technically that can be a good fit for the Scorpio, but it can be a little challenging. And share of love for debates and bubbling, bursting. Aquarius can be very attracted and conceptual, where the Scorpio relies on instinct and feel make this tough combination when it comes to elemental nature. Here's a water sign for you. Sensitivity, emotional intelligence with the greatest affinity. There seems to be a psychic, creative, intuitive current running between them that transcends words. So let's see this. We're not going to get into the Constitution. We'll get into the body parts and we'll get to the Torah card. And that's it. Esoteric, three deacons of the Scorpio is Mars and the Sun and Venus. We just read it through the thing. It tends on 0 degrees and 9. I'm just going to skim through it. And let's see. I put that in the chat if y'all, and I'm just going to do that. And the Venus, yeah, I read that. It's self-explanatory. But the Torah cards, we're going to read death. That's the last piece I'm going to read. And I'm done. We're going to get into earth signs in a minute. Let's read the water signs, okay? Scorpio with Cancer is a good fit with both signs being private and sensitive and lovers of solitude. I just read that from the Cancer earlier. And may have been shy. Cancers up to a sexual expression. They may form a deep bond emotionally. Yep. We already know Cancer nurtures Scorpio, and Scorpio's protective of Cancer, so they potentially understand what the other needs. Exactly, they both water signs. It's a great fit. Pisces, Scorpios have shared love for the mystical, love philosophical ideas, complementary pairing, and they're intuitive, creative, or otherworldly, and they will end up, right, otherworldly signs and understood in Cancers. And Scorpios and potentially understood what other words. Scorpio shares a love for the mystical, will likely explore spirituals, philosophical ideas together. This is a complementary pairing. They are part of the intuitive, creative, otherworldly. They will enjoy privacies and retreat. And that's what it is. imaginative one. Okay, Scorpio can be potent but sexually magnetic parent, but they both are fearless to enjoy. If it's too much, which can help them bond trust. If they're too much alike, yeah. So we're gonna skim through a little something. She's retweeting, getting crazy. Earth signs bring complementary element of affinity to a relationship with the Scorpio's sense, practical structure, and the Earth and motive and water blend. Okay, Scorpio and Capricorn work and play well together. They are individual, powerful enough in their own right to respect one another. Neither are intimidated by the other's power. Capricorn builds and are organized, while Scorpio investigates, explores together. Their focus and talents merge well in love as well as business. See, Capricorns and Scorpios can work well. That's a good compatibility for them. It's similar to the Taurus. We're the greatest compatibility. And that's proven in my grandparents' marriage on my mama's side. 40 years. Proof. Oh, yeah, they had problems, but they worked through it. It's not common these days. Virgo and Scorpio are potentially strong match, especially when it comes to love compatibility. They will appreciate each other's attention, detail, and love for perfection. They may have overlap interests in health and medicine, enjoying collaborating creativity. Scorpio brings some thrill and mystery into Virgo's orderly world, which may be refreshing, intriguing to the Virgo. The greatest compatibility of the sign, the Taurus and the Scorpio, classic, are polar opposite signs, which can be magnetic connection or polarizing standoff. Venus rule Taurus lovers pleasure and comfort, while Mars rules Scorpio thrives on challenge and thrill. Both signs are fixed, so they are likely to equally slow to compromise. Yeah, because they're both stubborn and they both understand each other. Yeah, and they may either balance each other out or to be different to last long. That's not true. They do last long. It depends on the person. Uh, my mom's father was in another marriage and he didn't put no babies in her. And his second wife was a Taurus. So it lasted for 40 years. So that sign does work. It can work. It's tricks to it. Okay. Let's look at the death. Tarot card death correlates Scorpio number 13. This card can be seen rather in ominous, but rather in a portent of actual death. But the death card points to be transformative phase in the circle of life that the Scorpio as an archetype is most aligned with exploring. Number 13 of the major arcana, principle of the death, letting go. So what is the past due to the fact of earth and the compromise furthermore? Hold on a minute, guys. All right. Let's see. The death card, number 13, illustrates letting go of the past, death, relation we observe. Feeling this phenomenon happening in the limited journal. So at a level, this card can appear as within us. Okay, this card can appear reminds us of this process so that we can be more fearful in the change of growth. Once we recognize the death as a time surrounding as an important part of creative evolutionary cycle, we can begin with to trust the flow with it. We may not need to allow ourselves with the withdrawal of the grief, but we will be with our sense of the loss before we are ready to truly move forward and renew. Death is not the end, but only a passage through a world of mystery and a shadow that allows us to embrace the fullness of life. That's that Torah card of the Scorpio. I already put the link in the chat. You can read about the rest. So I'm done for the day. Get ready for part 2 in the afternoon of the Earth signs of the Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. That's going to be a long one. I may open up the panel. This is me signing off. So with that, I'm going to say peace and shalom.